Laser sights are an essential firearms training tool, clearly correcting and improving the two most important shooting fundamentals, aiming and trigger control. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
This is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, now available on iTunes and other podcast clients, and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android. Feel free to call Tom now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN or 866-825-5486, or email Tom at guntalk.com. Now, once again, here's Tom.
All right, back with you. Tom Gresham here. It's 866-TALK-GUN gets you in the door, obviously. And if you'd like to join us, by all means, do so. We are heading straight for the holiday season, the Christmas season. And for a lot of us, as we were growing up, one of the coolest gifts we ever got was some type of air gun, BB gun, a Daisy Red Ryder, something. It was, you could call it a rite of passage to have a gun that actually fired a projectile, and we went out and, in my case, at least burned them up. I mean, I've shot thousands and tens of thousands of BBs through mine. Had a great time. And it's amazing how good you get when you shoot a lot, pull the trigger a lot. And so with that in mind, doesn't mean you can't do it all over again. Doesn't mean you can't get yourself an air gun. So toward that end, we invited a friend in who knows all about air guns. Val Gamerman is with Pyramyd Air, and Pyramyd is with all Y's, Pyramyd Air.com. Hey, Val, how are you?
Good. How are you, Tom?
I am well. I was just looking at your website, and I'm just startled. I bet you don't even know. You don't actually know how many air guns you sell, models you have available, do you?
I do.
Well, at least somebody does. That's good.
Yeah. We have over 1,500 different air guns. That's not counting calibers and variations in colors and stocks.
Okay, so it's a whole lot more than just 1,500 when you start saying different calibers, different finishes, different colors, all the rest.
And they were talking a few thousand.
That's crazy. I mean, so you have a thing there of, how do I find the right one? What do you want to do with it? But I'm just, in my real quick glance here, it looked like you had them everywhere starting from $30 or something up to over $1,000. How can air guns span that gap that far?
Well, one of the exciting things about air guns is it's a huge spectrum, a very broad spectrum of utilities. So you have anything from your Red Ryder you just mentioned, that is your $30 odd purchase that is incredibly fun to shoot. And then you have your typical break barrels and pest control area rifles. They're $100 plus, let's say, and then you have PCP, which is free charge pneumatic, and that's where it's starting to get very interesting. And you're talking $300 plus, and they're good for hunting small game. Then you have your big bores; they're $600-700 guns, and you talk about Olympic rifles, and those are $3,000-4,000, just creation of art, if you will.
They really are,
unbelievable air rifles.
They are beyond accurate. I mean, and I heard somebody once say, I don't know if it's true, they said that actually the Olympic type, that level of air gun, may be the most accurate firearm we have. Think of firearm as a gun, because you eliminate one of the variables, which is the ammo.
So the pellets that are used in those competitions are usually hand-sorted, and I know for a fact that athletes actually like to not use any tools when they load the pellet into the rifle. They hold the pellet in their fingers. It kind of gives them the feel of connection, I guess, with the projectile. The air rifles are so accurate that they're having difficulty scoring them even electronically these days.
Wow. They're all going in the same hole.
It's actually a problem because the Olympic Committee, as well as the body that is responsible for it, has a big problem in their hands because the ranges across the world are built to 10 yards, 10 meters, and you can't undo it. It's very expensive infrastructure project.
And And these guns are putting all of the pellets into a single hole. I mean, you really can't measure the difference from one shot to the next.
It is extremely difficult. They used to measure to 1/10 of a score. Now it's in hundredths, and electronic targets are not helping much at this point. Lots of shooters, good equipment.
Well, okay, all right, so that's at that level, but at our level, and you and I have talked about this over dinner, I said, for me, my level of interest is that adult-type air guns are so cool because they feel like real guns. They're heavy. They have the same dimensions, that you can get them in the same models, whether it's a semi-auto type pistol or a single shot or a rifle or whatever. But you just get to shoot so darn much.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's so cheap, and more importantly, for somebody like me, who does not have time to go to the range every week, it's something I can enjoy in my basement without waking up the whole house.
Good point.
Yeah, it's great for me personally. I like it because of that specific reason, at least one reason.
Well, you know what? You come home from work, you go down and you shoot for 30 minutes in your basement or even in your garage, and it's like the ultimate decompression time, because when you're shooting, your focus is entirely on that. It can't be on anything else. It's just you, the sights, the target, and trying to be the best you can be. And it's like the ultimate decompression time for me.
Absolutely. And I can tell you that you don't even have to buy multiple air guns to be able to enjoy that and hunting. There are air guns out there that have variable power adjustments. So you're in the basement, bring the power down. You want to go into the woods and hunt, you bring that power up. It's literally a knob that you just turn yourself.
Give me an idea of what you could hunt with an air gun.
You can hunt anything from a chipmunk all the way to a deer, wild hog. We had recently launched the Air Bolt, which is a 430-grain arrow that shoots out of a 50-caliber Dragon Claw air rifle and gives you 200-plus foot-pounds of energy. And people have taken deer and hog with it, no problem. It's quite unbelievable power, more powerful than any crossbow out there.
It is. All right, let me ask you, I'm seeing a note here, Red Ryder Lasso Mount Combo. What is that?
Oh, that's a fun little project. That Lasso Mount is a mount that was invented earlier this year that allows anybody to mount a scope on a Red Ryder BB gun. Anybody who's had a Red Ryder, myself included, maybe never thought of putting a scope on it.
No.
Part of the reason is there is no way to put a scope on it because there are no grooves in the receiver. There is nothing to attach it to.
Right.
And this gentleman who invented it, he is a genius in my opinion because he invented something that maybe not a lot of us have thought about, but this thing is sounding like crazy because you would be surprised how accurate a Red Ryder can be. And if you're older, your eyesight is not working as well, then scope is your friend, and it's extremely accurate, up to 10 yards. It's a great BB gun.
I would never have imagined putting a scope on a Red Ryder BB gun. It's like the weirdest idea, and then you stop and you think, well, sure, I want to be able to hit things. I want to be able to see better. Why not?
Yeah, and we were at first like, wait, what? Why would you want to do that? And then we tried it, and it's like, oh my God, this is a great idea.
A scope mount for your Red Ryder. Oh my gosh, that's just crazy. Now you guys are doing some fun stuff for us. You're doing like daily deals, and you got the Gun Talk code. People can save 10% off by using our code, right?
Yes, that's right. I appreciate everybody who came forward who came to our website, used the coupon. This is still going on. It's something, our way to give back to you guys.
Well, we appreciate it. Just put Gun Talk on the code. You get 10% off. When people are trying to figure out what gun to get, that's got to be the hardest part. And that's, I guess, I would offer that's where you guys really come in to your own, because you really can help people figure out what area they need to be in, what type of gun's going to work for them, what type of air gun. And you got all that on the website.
Yeah, so if you don't have time to call during the week, you certainly are welcome to use the guide, which we have on our website. And of course, guide is guide, and it will lead you to specific selections based on your needs. But if it gets more complicated for you than what the guide can answer, definitely give us a call. Our call center has over 150 years of airgun experience combined, and our folks trained to not oversell you guys, and that is the top-down coming from me. They will recommend a $100 air gun if that's all you need right now, and that is my commitment to you guys as well, and anybody, any customer.
All right, the phone number is 888-262-GUNS, right?
That's right.
888-262-GUNS will get you in there. And if you want to go to the website, it's Pyramyd Air, Pyramyd, pyramydair.com.
That's right.
Well, I love what you do. You've got all these cool guns, everything from AR types to cowboy guns to revolvers to semi-autos to the super accurate. There's just, if you have an interest in firing guns, you probably have something for people.
That's for sure. I don't think you can find a better selection other than our website.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your help. And I have to admit, we just got a care package from Val, and we're having a whole bunch of fun, man. You have wasted so much of our time.
I am not sorry.
No, you're not sorry a bit, are you? All right.
No,
thanks, Val. I sure appreciate it. You have a great Christmas.
Thanks.
All right. 866 Talk Gun, get you in here. Did you have a Red Ryder? How many people had a Red Ryder? Or what was your first air gun? I would love to know that. 866 Talk Gun. Be right back.
Want to customize the look of your firearm and give it ultimate durability? Well, don't paint it. Cerakote it. Cerakote is a spray-on ceramic polymer coating that uses state-of-the-art technology to achieve superior abrasion resistance and corrosion protection. Field-proven and trusted by manufacturers and gun owners like you, Cerakote is the industry's unmatched performance leader. In lab testing and real-world applications, Cerakote outperforms the competition every time. See for yourself and find a local certified applicator near you at Cerakote.com. Choose the best. Choose Cerakote and finish strong.
The Ruger LCRX is a variation of the LCR that features an external hammer, allowing it to be fired in single action mode. The LCRX can also be fired in double action mode. It features a monolithic frame made from aerospace grade 7000 series aluminum, a patented Ruger friction reducing cam that results in a smooth, non-stacking trigger pull, and a patent pending polymer fire control housing that significantly reduces weight and helps reduce recoil. The Ruger LCRX Revolver, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
If you love to shoot sporting clays, Mossberg has just the gun for you. The new Pro Series Sporting is a full-featured target gun that fits well and points naturally right out of the box. Designed in conjunction with Gil and Vicky Ash of OSP Shooting Schools, the Mossberg 930 was developed to work with you to make clay shooting easier, more consistent, and more enjoyable. This fall, head out to the range and break more clays with the new Mossberg 930 Sporting. Learn more at mossberg.com.
Back with you here. Let's go straight to the phones. Line 3, Jelly's with us out of Georgia. Hey, how you doing, Jelly?
Doing great. I had a quick question for you.
You bet.
My wife wants a pistol, and I've looked at a 380 Ruger.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Ruger it has no safety. A friend of mine bought a 380 Smith & Wesson that does have a safety.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious about the difference between those two guns, basically the same. Maybe the Smith & Wesson might be a little higher quality gun.
No.
Just curious.
No, it's not a matter of higher quality. It's that some people like me don't want a manual thumb safety on a pistol. I don't want on my striker fire guns to have a manual safety on my pistol. I would prefer to not. Now, understand, it's not that it doesn't come with a safety. It has several safeties built into it. It just doesn't have a manual thumb safety. Now, I'm assuming, are you talking about on the Ruger side of the LCP?
Yes.
Okay, and the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, I imagine, on the other side.
Exactly.
Both are excellent. It is totally a matter of personal preference if you like a thumb safety. Let me ask you this. Are you buying this for her, or is she going to go handle it and select it and figure it out for herself?
I'm buying it for her. We've, in our area, we've had guns since we were 10 years old. A lot of hunting, that type of thing. She wanted a pistol for the reason that she is an RN in the OR here, and wanted a little bit of personal protection.
Understand.
And I've got a friend of mine who owns a gun shop here who we've done a lot of work for, and he'd give me a good price on either gun. But everybody had red flags come up with the safety, and I came to the conclusion that, hey, if you've got a 6-clip magazine, you put 6 bullets in, the safety's on until you put one in the chamber.
Well, I don't want to carry a gun that's unloaded, and if you don't have one in the chamber, it's unloaded.
Pretty much. But that's why I was curious what your thoughts were on this.
Okay, here's my thoughts. We're going to back up from the whole thumb safety or no thumb safety. I'm going to very strongly suggest you do not buy your wife a gun. Okay? I'm going to suggest that you assist your wife in selecting her own gun, but mostly by you being as quiet as possible while she looks at them, handles them, and if at all possible, shoots them. Because she may look at that and say, well, gee, I can't actually operate that thumb safety with my thumb. On small guns, it can be really difficult to do. She may say, I really prefer the one without a thumb safety on it. Or she may say, it just makes me nervous, I've heard this before, of having a gun that doesn't have a thumb safety on it. Again, that's her choice. Or if she gets a chance to handle them, particularly if she can shoot them, which is much, 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 much better, she may say, I just don't like the way these feel at all. I want a slightly bigger gun, which is easier to shoot, because bigger guns are always easier to shoot. Where I'm going with this is I'm thinking maybe a gift card for her and let her choose her own gun, because it's not you who's going to be carrying it and shooting it and betting your life on it. It's her.
That's right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. I appreciate it, Jelly. Good luck with that. Ben's in Athens, Georgia on 2. Hey, Ben, what problem you having here?
How the world are you, Tom? I'm having issues finding some 3.5-inch Magnum, #1 buckshot in 12 gauge. None of the major manufacturers are making it anymore, and I'm down to my last box of Federals. Any ideas?
Are you hunting deer with this?
Yes.
Okay. I will tell you. Okay. Let me start off with my own personal bias on this, okay? So you know where I'm coming from. I am not a fan of the 3.5-inch 12-gauge load for anything. I don't think you get anything more for it. I just don't think it's particularly good ballistically designed shot shell. A 3-inch Magnum for me would be absolutely fine. I mean, because you're talking about, what do you figure is your really, truly effective range buckshot? 40, 50 yards maybe be maximum?
Yeah, out to 60 easy. I've killed deer at nearly 100 with buckshot, 3-inch.
Wow. Okay, so what you're telling me is a 3-inch is good enough.
Well, a 3 works, but if one works, another one might be better.
Could be, but the thing is, killing a deer at 100 yards with buckshot is a matter of having the lucky BB. It's not a done deal because your pattern is big enough now that you're just throwing a bunch of BBs out there, but pellets. And frankly, that's not something I want to do. You got a better chance of crippling something, and I don't want to cripple anything out there. I want to hold my shots to the inside of, and I'm with you. I think 60 yards with a good tight load with good choke will work. I guess what I'm doing is I'm going back and saying, I think you would be just as happy going with 3-inch. If you can find that #1 buck that you like in a 3-inch, I would get that, and I wouldn't worry about the 3.5-inch.
Well, all my searching, I can't find anybody making it anymore.
Well, that kind of takes care of the problem then, doesn't it?
Drawer full somewhere they wanted to get rid of, or a website I hadn't checked.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was just saying it may take care of it. Maybe you're going to be shooting 3-inch, and that's the way it goes. Look, I appreciate the call, sir, and I wish you luck with your hunting. Joe's in Cleburne, Texas, line 4. Hey, Joe, talk to me here. A birthday coming up?
Yeah, I am looking to purchase a new weapon for my daughter. She just turned 18 Thursday, just past Thursday. I took her out looking, and we're looking at the 1911. She has no real experience. I taught her to go shoot a gun probably a couple of years back with a professional, and she wasn't afraid of it, and she's planning on joining the FBI, so I wanted to give her a leg up. So I was kind of hoping you could give me some advice.
All right, question. She wants to go to the FBI. How did you arrive at the idea of going with a 1911?
Well, the gentleman that was showing us how to shoot, well, not me, I already know how to shoot, but showing my wife and my daughter how to shoot, that's the weapon he had. Mm-hmm. Wife just loved that gun, so that's why
what kind of car?
That weapon.
What kind of car did he drive?
What kind of?
Yeah, would you buy the same kind of car that he drives too? Because that's what he likes.
No.
Okay, well then I wouldn't buy the same kind of gun that he likes because that's what he likes. You see where I'm going with this, obviously, which is that may or may not be the right gun for your daughter. I wouldn't buy one for her. Here's what I would do. Right? You want to do something really cool for your daughter? Get her a self-defense, a serious, like a 2-day self-defense class. Buy her that class where she goes and shoots. And then say, and I will buy you whatever pistol you want after you've done the class, and you maybe try 2 or 3 others out there. Try a striker-fired polymer gun. Try a SIG's all-steel gun. Try a 1911. She may say, I love the 1911. Cool. That's not what she's going to be carrying if she ends up being an FBI agent, just to let you know. That's not going to happen. My point is that just because this expert likes the 1911, pardon me, doesn't make it the right gun for your daughter or for any of us. Now, I love 1911s, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that the process of choosing a gun should be more personal than that. It should be more like, well, I'm going to try different guns and I'm going to figure out which one I like. So that's why I say, really do something cool. Buy her one of these really good self-defense gunfighting classes. Let her try some different guns, and then she'll come away with a knowledge base and experience level that will help her make her own decision. It's always a good thing.
Want your opinion to make a difference? Log on to our website and take the Gun Talk poll, www.guntalk.com. Now, once again, opinion page regular contributor for the Washington Times, here's Tom.
Well, just when you thought it wasn't possible, we get good news coming out of California on gun rights. On Thursday, California's 5th District Court of Appeals revived a lawsuit against California's micro-stamping requirement. If you remember, California requires, and it was 2007, that Arnold Schwarzenegger, then governor, signed a bill into law that required micro-stamping. That is, that a handgun would put individual marks on cartridges so that if a cartridge case is found at the scene of the crime, supposedly the police could pick it up and look at it and run it through the database and know what gun it came from and then magically go and find the bad guy. Yeah, right, that's going to happen. But we all knew at the time, and we know today, that the micro-stamping technology does not exist. There is no workable, dependable, reliable micro-stamping technology. It does not exist. The problem is, California has said, well, if you're going to get a handgun on our official roster, the list of good guns, because if it's not on the roster, you can't sell it to California. Well, the only way you can get a gun on the roster now is it has to have micro-stamping, to which we say, but micro-stamping doesn't exist. And they go, not our problem. So if you change a gun that's on the roster, it has to come off the roster. If a manufacturer improves the gun, it comes off the roster, then they have to resubmit it. But, they can't resubmit it because now it doesn't have micro-stamping. the non-existent technology. So the Fifth Circuit, the Fifth District Court of Appeals in California looked at it and said, wait, it looks to us like this does not actually exist. So they have remanded it back to the lower court and said, you have to take a look at this and find out if this actually exists. So this is a very good thing. We'll see what happens. We'll keep you posted on that. Okay, but this is a really good thing. Let's go to line 3. Tori's with us out of Spokane, Washington. Hey, Tori, you're on Gun Talk.
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, I wanted to give you a call on a range report on teaching a friend how to use a gun after the police never showed up.
Oh, what happened?
Well, I've got a friend. She's a single mom of 2 teenage boys. She's been a good friend for years. She lives on a busy street with a lot of foot traffic.
Mm-hmm.
One night she got up to do something, and there was a tweaker looking through one of her windows.
Oh.
She called 911.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever showed.
Never showed up.
Never showed up. About a month later, she was home again.
Mm-hmm.
This guy comes back, looking through her windows, walking through her yard, her neighbor's yard. She called 911. Nobody ever showed up.
My heavenly days.
Pardon?
So what did she do? She decided she wants to get her own protection?
Well, I asked her if she wanted to learn how to use a firearm, and she said yes, she did. So we started just about a year ago at the range, started with 22s, and we've worked our way up. She's shot in everything now from a 22 to a 454 Casull.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep. She's an outdoor person. She hikes, she canoes, she does a lot, and she's ran across, she's been like 15 feet from a moose coming up on a trail.
Right.
So obviously before the election, I told her, I said, if you can do it now, I said, time to get one before, just in case Hillary gets in. So we went to the gun store and we talked about all the guns, and I'm a big 10mm fan, and she shot it a lot of times, and she ended up getting herself a Glock 29.
Wow. Okay. The smaller form 10mm Glock. How's she like it?
She loves it. She loves the Glock 20.
Yeah, which is the bigger.
Like you said, the Glock 10's a little smaller. She's, and I have it. She shot my 29 just a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Like she knows the recoil is noticeable.
Right.
The grip's going to be a little different because it's not full size.
Mm-hmm.
When she puts a 15-round magazine in there, it's obviously a lot easier to manage the recoil. Absolutely.
You got a lot more weight in there to hang on to, too. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's really, within this time that she did it, she's really caught on quick. And she said, I just have to get used to it.
Yep, exactly. I mean, that's the whole deal. Tori, I appreciate the range report. That is a terrific way to go. Attaboy on taking her out, getting her going. Call police twice, they don't show up. Well, that's, unfortunately, nobody's hurt. Maybe they just say, we're just not going to come out. I don't know exactly where that was, but that's how it is sometimes. Line 2, Frank's with us. Grants Pass, Oregon. Frank, talk to me about air guns.
I'm prompted to call, Tom, because of one of your sponsors, Pyramyd Air, and several questions that you've had from guys calling in about guns for their wives or daughters, etc.
Right.
Pyramyd Air has an incredible selection of handguns that are 100% duplicates of the guns that these guys might consider for their daughter or wife that that function as blowbacks. They function exactly as the real guns. And I think it's a much better way to get involved for people who are not gun conscious. And that's what I did for my wife. I bought her an exact duplicate of a Beretta that she eventually got, and it is a terrific way to go.
And so, so people know, just in your experience, what types of guns would they have the duplicates of? I know they have, for instance, SIGs, but what else do they have?
They have everything. They're just about every single handgun that you can think of, except the very small carry guns.
Sure.
Exact duplicates. They're the same weight, function exactly the same. Blowback, many of them are blowback. The slide flies back just like on a powder burner, and it's a terrific learning tool for women and girls or younger guys to get used to.
Or for anybody.
Terrific.
Yeah, for anybody that wants to train and maybe overcome a flinch or find out if you have a flinch and just get better at pulling the trigger, or frankly, just to have more fun and get more trigger time. Frank, I appreciate that. I should have mentioned that earlier. That's a great idea. But yeah, our friends at Pyramyd Air, by the way, if you go to Pyramyd Air, again, remember, it's with the Y's, PYRAMYD air.com. If you use the code Gun Talk, you get 10% off. And now's a pretty good time to be buying some air guns. So pretty sweet stuff out here. Let's drop down line 4. I want to get Mike in here from Kansas because he's got a BB gun story for us. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, first of all, Tom, I want you to know I just put on a pot of venison stew.
Well, I'll be over in a few minutes.
Yeah. Anyway, I got my first BB gun when I was 6, and it was just a plain Jane. It wasn't a Red Ryder, but I wore it out the time I was 10, and I got that Winchester Model 94. Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wore it out, and then when I was 10, I got that Target model with, the hooded front sight. You could change the sights in and
right.
stuff. But the birds didn't like me.
But, boy, you sure can learn to shoot with air guns, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, Mike. That's the good stories, and enjoy that stew. My air gun of choice when I was growing up, maybe just because that's what my dad got for us, was the Daisy Model 25. That was the pincher. The slide action, and it would have articulated arm on it. And when you're short, you're young and small, you can't reach all the way out to the forearm. So you end up putting your hand on that part that scissors, and then you certainly will be getting blood blisters and pinching the devil out of your hand when you shoot it. I think we wore out 3 of those, and it is not easy to wear one out, but Dad would buy BBs by the 10,000 at a time. We'd go to the warehouse facility and buy great big boxes, and I would go through 300, 400, 500 BBs a day shooting in the backyard and everything. So that was just tons of fun. Let's see. We've run right past the break, haven't we? We've got to do that. Hey, let's take a quick break here. 866 Talk Gun. We have some folks online, but we do have room for you if you'd like to join us. Now's a good time.
As we celebrate 2 centuries in Remington country, it's humbling to think about all the ground we've covered. Since the infancy of our nation, we've journeyed with you every step of the way, helping shape the course of American history. Remington country is bigger than a place, and for the 200 years, it's been our highest honor supporting your freedoms and your way of life. To celebrate, Remington is giving away 200 guns. For a chance to win, tell us your story at 200sweepstakes.remington.com.
After a long workday, you need a break when you get home. That's when it's trigger time. With quality adult air guns that are powerful, accurate, and quiet, and cost just pennies to shoot. We are Pyramyd Air. We know air guns. Let our experts with more than 150 years of combined air gun experience help find the right air gun for you. Get your trigger time, anytime, for less. PyramydAir.com.
What's important in a gun set? Security, reliability, safety, good looks? It all comes down to quality. Quality that's built in from the beginning. Liberty Safe has made quality products for 29 years right here in the USA. Trust your guns, your valuables, and your safety to Liberty Safe. Did you ever regret buying quality? I didn't think so. Get the best. Whatever your budget, get a Liberty Safe. LibertySafe.com.
A decade since it was first introduced, the Taurus Judge still rules. This isn't just any personal defense revolver. This is an everyday gun. With its decisive stopping power, it's the original 5-shot game changer. Today it's available in more than a dozen models and capable of chambering both 45 Colt and 410 shot shell. You be the judge. Taurus Judge. What legends are made of. Visit TaurusUSA.com.
Well, you see, you couldn't get rid of me that easily. We're back. Tom Gresham here. 866 Talk Gun gets you in. Line 1, Will's with us out of California. Hey, Will, talk to me.
Hi, Tom. Just wanted to tell you about some budget training that I did a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
I've been listening to the podcast a while, and I got my concealed carry permit down here almost a year ago. And, of course, the class you sit through is not training. So wanted to get some training. Well, the deputies here in San Bernardino County, along with some deputies from some neighboring counties, have put together their own LLC called Inland Arms.
Oh, okay.
And it's a small company. They do one-day training sessions, and they're about 5 hours, give or take. And they don't break the budget. The class I took was their intermediate handgun class, and it was about $150.
So what'd you do in the class?
It was basic mechanics on draw, presenting your firearm, firing, working on some accuracy at typical handgun distances, say anywhere from 7 to 3 yards.
Right.
At the end of the day, they did time drills where you had to shoot, reload a string of fire within a given amount of seconds.
Oh.
And it was a wide range of ability levels. I've been shooting pistols since I was a little kid, and there was a couple of people there who they hadn't touched a handgun until their basic level class that they took a couple of months ago.
Right.
So, happy to also report that there were more women than men in the class.
Now it is two things. One, it is interesting, and two, I'm not completely surprised. That has been happening more and more. My final question for you is this. Just how much fun was that class?
I'm already putting away money and trying to set time in my schedule to go do it again.
Exactly. I always say your first real gunfighting class like that is just that. It's your first because you're going to be doing it again. Will, thank you for the range report on that. That's very cool. Tony's on line 3 out of Jacksonville, Arkansas. Hey, Tony, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom. Hey, got a question real quick. I just recently started watching the First-Person Defender series.
Oh, great.
It's a wonderful series, by the way. And the simunition that you guys use, can you use that in any regular weapon, or do you have to have a specialized weapon? Because I noticed the weapons that they use are different colored weapons.
Yes, you have to. Simunitions is a particular brand, and they actually have a cartridge called the FX marking cartridge. And you have to have a gun that is modified to take the simunitions cartridge. The reason for that is once you have a simunitions gun that's modified with a different barrel or chamber inserts for revolvers or such, then it prevents it from being used with live ammo. You can imagine, if you watch the First Person Defender show, imagine the apprehension that anybody should have when you're taking a real firearm and then you're putting this simunitions ammo in it, and you're pointing it at people and pulling the trigger. And so we become obsessive about the safety. It's like, okay, we have converted the gun. Right, well, we've converted the gun. All right, now you check it. Okay, great. Now you check it over there. Great. Okay, now you check it one more time. And we also rope off the areas where we do the First-Person Defender series, the simunitions scenarios. We have a sterile area, and anybody who walks into the sterile area gets searched. They get literally gets patted down. No knives, no tactical pins, certainly no firearms, no ammunition, no magazines, no anything. If you leave the sterile area and you come back, you're going to get searched again. You're going to get patted down. We don't want any ammo in there. Even though these guns won't take live ammo, I don't care. That's just what you have to do. And I'm so glad that you're enjoying the FPD series. We've got the season 4 just launched, I guess, last Monday. We're still doing Defender Week. So if you want to see what we're talking about, and let me tell you, you talk about binge watching. Once you start watching FPD, you tell your friends you want to watch all of them. It's on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Just look for Gun Talk Media on all of those, and you will find First Person Defender. Trust me when I tell you, it's an eye-opener because you keep reliving them. You're going, what would I have done? What should that person have done? How could that person have missed that bad guy coming over there? Well, yeah, it's easy to second-guess them until you get in the middle of them. Check it out. First Person Defender on all of those different mechanisms. Just look for Gun Talk. We're right there. All right, let's go visit with Austin out of Waco, Texas. He's on line 2. Austin, you're on Gun Talk.
Tom, you had the best after show a couple weeks ago where you were talking about your time in Louisiana and going after swamp rabbits.
Swamp rabbits, yeah, which we call, actually they're nutria, but they wanted to call them swamp rabbits to market the meat. It was the silliest thing. Don't you love the after show? Isn't it fun?
The after show is great. I inherited my grandfather's Browning BLR in 222.
Oh.
And I was shooting swamp rabbits with that rifle.
Yeah? Where were you shooting nutria?
Nutria, it's East Texas, Piney Woods.
Okay.
Get a little swamp out back.
Mm-hmm.
And they hadn't been there for years. But I'm walking down the trail, and there's a big splash in the pond, and the nutria are back. So I run back up the hill to the house, and I grab my rifle, and it was good fun. It was my grandfather's rifle. Shot my first deer with it. I've got it now. I've got a bunch of ammo.
That's nice.
You know, they tear up the ecoculture. You know,
they're very destructive. Yeah, they are. And for those who don't know, nutria, we'll just cover that ground. If you didn't listen to the after show, well, first of all, shame on you because you're missing out on so much fun. The after show is available online. But a nutria is a what do you call it?
Rat.
It is. It's a 25-pound rat. It's a skinny tail beaver is what it is. Beavers, for whatever reason, we think of as being cute. Nutria are just big old awful rats, and they tear up everything. And their only virtue is that they make good targets.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. And not many people have 222s around, so that's pretty sweet. I think I may still have one of those around. Clark is on line 4 out of Spokane, Washington. Hey, Clark, you're on Gun Talk.
Hi, Tom. How you doing? All right,
great.
That's without that. Just wanted to let you know about my air gun.
Okay.
I I was 9 years old. Got it for Christmas. It was a Sears 22 pellet gun, pump action.
Yeah.
And it had a metal little thing over where you would put the bullet in. But after I wore that out, I actually ended up changing out the barrel and putting a bolt action on it. Still have my little pellet gun today.
Oh, I'll be darned. And, pellet guns, BB guns are such an important part of us because we get to shoot them a lot. You get to learn a lot about shooting. And people who take up shooting, particularly as adults now, generally go straight to ballistic-type guns using gunpowder, and they miss out on all the fun of shooting air guns. We were talking earlier. Look, I appreciate the call, Clark. We were talking earlier with Val from Pyramyd Air, and they have literally thousands of different air guns, anything from $30 Red Ryders up to several $1,000 Olympic-style guns. But in terms of, and I'm serious about this, in terms of treating yourself or somebody else, if you talk about getting a Christmas present or something put under the Christmas tree or Hanukkah or whatever, an adult air gun is just one of the coolest things because you can shoot them for practically nothing. It costs almost nothing to shoot. You can shoot them in a basement. You can shoot them in a garage. Shoot them in the backyard, depending on where you live and the neighborhood and the zoning requirements there. Pyramyd Air is the company that they have all this stuff. Val was talking to us, and he says, "Look, it's just check the website. If that doesn't work, give us a call. The number's on the website, and our people are trained to help you find the right gun, but we're not going to oversell you." He says that comes from the top, which, in case you don't know, that means Val. That was the cool part of it. Pyramyd Air, Pyramyd, pyramydair.com. Sweet stuff. I tell you what, next hour, let me tell you about a Christmas where I got a gun that was so disappointing. I mean, was not what I wanted. It just left me with a bad feeling. Yeah, I know, surprising, but there it is. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about some other cool things that you might be wanting to treat yourself to when it comes to Christmas ballistic type stuff. 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.